Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Today I want to reading again assessment from Sir Holland about everyday life in the Soviet Union, the shopping runaround. The author Hendrik Smith was head of the New York Times office in Moscow from 1971 to 1974. The following passage is adapted from Mr. Smith's book The Russians, which was published in 1976 by Quadrangle or the New York Times Book Company. I had heard about consumer shortage before going to Moscow, but only when we began to shop there did the Russian consumers' problems really have meaning for me. Customers the world over wait in the lines, but Soviet lines have a special quality of their own. Typically, the Soviet woman spends 2 hours a day in line, 7 days a week. Personally, I have known of people who stood in line 90 minutes to buy 4 pineapples and 31.2 hours to buy 3 large heads of cabbage, only to find the cabbage were gone as they approached the front of the line. Lines can run from a few yards to nearly a mile. Some friends of you watched a line of people in Moscow signing up to buy rugs. The line lasts 2 days and nights and ran for across Otruk and apartment development. In spite all of this, the natural reaction of a Russian woman when she sees a line forming is to get in it immediately, even before she knows what is being sold. However, Soviet lines are more fluid than they appear. In most stores, for example, shops must stand in not one but 3 lines for any purchase the first. To select a purchase to find out its price. Its price the second. To pay a cashier somewhere else in the store and get a receipt, and the third to go pick up the purchase and turn in the receipt. But in a dairy store one morning, I found out that the game is both of simpler and more complex than that. I went in to buy some cheese, butter, and Bologna sausage, which were in 3 separate departments, each with its own 9 lines. Rather quickly, took I noticed that experienced shops were skipping the first stage. They knew what most items cost, so they went directly to the cashier for the receipts. After studying price, I did that too. Then I went to the cheese line. The launch probably to 20 people to get the worst over with the first. I was in the line less than a minute when the woman in front of me asked me to hold her place. She darted off the butter and milk line. The cheese line was moving so slowly that she got her butter and milk and returned before we had advanced 3 feet. I decided to take the risk too, and I got back with my butter while the cheese line was still inching alone. Then it suddenly occurred to me that all over the store, people were getting into line, holding breath, laying, returning. Everyone was using the cheese line as home base. That was why it was barely moving. It kept expanding in the middle, so I got the hand behind me to hold my place, and I went off my Bologna. Once again, it worked. It took me 20 minutes, 22 minutes, I mean, to buy butter, sausage, and cheese. But instead of being furious, I felt as if I had beaten the system. The competitive shopping gives an atmosphere of tension to Russian life. People burst into stores and bump into each other with fair sense and competitive expressions. You have to understand, said a keen, gray-haired person, that for as long as we can remember, shopping has been a struggle, life is a struggle. There is hardly any effective advertising to help shoppers. Americans complain about the constant commercials in the United States, but they might reconsider if they were exposed to the consumer blackout in Russia. A typical Soviet and might be if you want to live and to ripe and old age and be beautiful, modest, true, and truthful. Drink tea. Most newspapers publish without ads. The shopper has no handy yellow page or daily newspaper, supermarket, or department store ads to help her decide where to shop. Bribery is widespread low paid 18 to 20 monthly dollars. Sales clerks takes a portion of extractive items and sell them secretly to regular customers who have either left a bribe in advance or can be called on to pay a high price of delivery. 10 to 15 rubles on a 60 ruble raincoat in standard in 1956. The ruble was equivalent to $1, $1.32. So come on, is this practice that the Soviet press is always complaining about it, but it doesn't do any good. Crocodile, the Soviet humor magazine, once showed a department store employee promising some newly arrived items their customers in the leather goods department. 500 important women's purses have been received. 450 of them have been bought by stores employees. 39 are under the counter and have been ordered in advance for friends. One purse in the display window. We invite you to visit the leather department to buy this purse. Okay, sir. Thank you for watching this video. Sorry if my pronounce and grammar is very bad. Still very bad. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.